If you or a loved one has been diagnosed with cyclical vomiting, this episode is definitely for you, especially if you're still seeking help. Hi there, I'm Dr. Kevin Leach here with the Chiropractic Deep Dive Podcast, bringing you the most important research and information on conservative primary spine care, upper cervical chiropractic care, and traditional chiropractic care. These research reviews, interviews, and episodes are made for you, whether you're a medical doctor, patient, or concerned family member or friend. The goal of these shows is to bring awareness of the importance of taking care of our spine and the impact it has on our health and the hundreds of different health conditions it could cause without us realizing it. I'm really trying to bring value with these, so I'd appreciate commenting on the videos, hitting the like button, and sharing them with as many people as you can. You never know who might need to see it. And consider subscribing to the channel so you can see all the other episodes and videos coming out. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate your support. Now on to the show. Okay, welcome back everyone to the Upper Cervical Chiropractic Research Show. This is episode 25. I'm Dr. Kevin Leach. Today's research is cessation of cyclical vomiting in a 7-year-old girl after upper cervical chiropractic care, a case study. This is by Dr. Todd Hubbard and Casey Crisp, published in the Journal of Chiropractic Medicine. Now, the purpose of this case report was to describe the chiropractic care and what it did for a child with cyclical vomiting syndrome. Now, if you're a parent who has a child with this problem, I'm going to assume that you already know how to manage the episodes as they are occurring to care for the child in the moment. This case report shows the dramatic improvement of overall episodes from a management standpoint. What I'm going to do in the episode is review the basics of why this patient was helped with upper cervical chiropractic care, and then after go into a little bit more detail on the mechanism and the neurology and a little bit more of a detailed explanation of how and why it worked. So the first part is geared more toward patients. The second part is geared toward more of a health professional. So in this case report, a 7-year-old girl had a history of 4.5 years of cyclical vomiting episodes and 2 months of headaches, 2 months of stomach aches at the time of presentation to the doctor. Within an hour of her first adjustment to her upper cervical spine, her upper neck, there was a noticeable improvement to her symptoms. She did a series of 13 visits total with 7 adjustments total. At a 20-month follow-up, after her initial care period, her mother reported that her daughter was a normal child, having not one episode of cyclical vomiting syndrome, and off all the medications for her stomach, vomiting, and headaches. Now, if you're new to upper cervical care, you might be asking, why did the treatment work? Let me give you a mechanism proposed in the paper in a simplified version of how these results could have been achieved. That is, the first bone in the neck, the one underneath the head called atlas, was not in alignment due to some physical trauma to the child's head or neck. That misalignment puts pressure on a structure containing nerves, arteries, and veins. In particular, the vagus nerve that actually travels from the upper neck down into the body and controls many aspects of the digestive system. The paper cites a medical research paper suggesting a similar type of mechanism for cases of cyclical vomiting syndrome. Now, for you doctors watching or listening, here are the 2 mechanisms proposed in the paper in more detail, both mechanisms being assumed to have an effect on the autonomic nervous system. The first is that the radiographic analysis showed a misalignment of the atlas as right with anterior rotation. Now we know that anatomically that the anterior sheath is located there, and that could be compressed by the misalignment. The sheath contains the common carotid artery, the internal carotid artery, internal jugular vein, and the glossopharyngeal, vagus, and spinal accessory nerves. The second potential mechanism could be from torsion on the superior cervical ganglion, which are located next to the vertebral body. It's important to understand that your medical doctor, neurologist, or specialist, at least currently in 2021, will most likely not be referring you to an upper cervical chiropractor for cyclical vomiting. So this is something you're going to have to research on your own, get in touch with an upper cervical chiropractor and see what they can do. Unfortunately, the mainstream healthcare system has yet to utilize chiropractors for these types of things and hundreds of other things like cyclical vomiting. So this study is interesting for many reasons, besides just the life-changing benefits that the child received from care. Number one is that it was done by my clinic doctor in chiropractic school, Dr. Todd Hubbard, and Dr. Casey Chris was actually a professor there at the time as well. So I know both of them fairly well. I'll never actually forget the story that Dr. Hubbard told us about his son and what happened to him. When he was in the hospital with his wife and his son was just born, he had a very low APGAR score. I can't remember what it was, but he wasn't doing well. I want to say he was not doing well for 15, 17 hours. And, Dr. Hubbard didn't have a chance to get him adjusted or even look at his spine or anything. And finally he said, enough is enough. Let me go check my child. And he did a real gentle palpation, saw that his son's atlas wasn't moving very well. Did a real gentle, slight pressure of an adjustment, got it functioning back to the way that it should have been. And I'll never forget, he said he saw his son take a huge breath just right after the adjustment. And then just hour by hour after that, got back to normal, normal APGAR score, totally recovered. And it just makes me think how many kids are born, with a difficult birth, where that atlas could get, kind of stuck or dislodged in some way. And then they just live the rest of their lives like that, and they grow into that. And what the effects and what the health consequences of those patients would be, I can't imagine. I mean, if it happened, it's probably happened more times than I care to think about, but it's so important for babies to be checked for these kinds of problems. And obviously, these problems can happen at any age, as demonstrated by this very young child who got help with the cyclical vomiting syndrome, which was not really a syndrome. It was just an atlas misalignment, atlas subluxation that needed to be corrected. So if you or a loved one, again, is suffering from cyclical vomiting syndrome, or somebody, or you've heard of somebody that has it, please share this video, share the information, share the research. It could literally change their lives and their families' lives by restoring normal function and improving quality of life. So please do that, even if the patient, claims they never had a head neck trauma or whiplash or anything like that. It's still vigilant to get it checked by someone who does upper cervical chiropractic care, or at least a chiropractor, to get it looked at and fixed. It could change their lives. So I'll put the link in the description below for the research, and please support the researcher as much as possible. We'd appreciate that too. And we'll see you next time. Thanks. Okay, that's it for this episode. So what did you learn that fascinated you or surprised you about the research today? Join or start the conversation in the comments below. Hey, thanks so much for watching. To watch more of our research shows, click or tap the screen right there. To subscribe to the channel, click or tap the screen right there. Until next time, I'm Dr. Kevin Leach with the Upper Cervical Chiropractic Research Show, bringing awareness to conservative primary spine care, upper cervical chiropractic care, and traditional chiropractic. Until next time, take care and take care of your spine. It's the only one you'll ever have.